Hey guys, it's Austin with Austin's Car Scene, and if you haven't already seen our quick look on this 2023 Ford Escape ST line, make sure you check that out right here. It's only about 6 minutes, a lot quicker format. This is going to be our full in-depth review on all the features, how I feel, and what it's like to live with this 2023 Ford Escape ST line. Hope you guys enjoy the video. And if you guys are new to the channel, make sure that you check out the channel. This is all new car walkarounds as well as car talks, and a little bit about me personally. This is my personal journey of my YouTube page. So make sure to subscribe, hit the notification bell so that you get notified when we upload videos. We try to upload a video every single day. Let's get into it. All right, ladies and gentlemen. So we are going to start with the outside styling on this one. Starting off with the front end. So this is full LED headlights, and I did actually turn them on, but I think the vehicle went into battery saver mode. So let me see if I hit unlock on the key fob or anything, if it changes any of that. It does not. So we do have full LED headlights. We'll turn those on here in a minute so that you can check those out. I might just run some B-roll of them, but they're really good looking headlights. They also come with LED fog lights down below. There is a daytime running light that runs along the top of it as an LED light bar. It's also your turn signal. And we do have, oh, I'm sorry. Well, is that your turn signal? This could be to your turn signal. You know what I'm going to do? Let's flash the lights again. Yep. So this is your turn signal element right here. This is your daytime running light. On higher trim levels like the ST line Elite, there's an LED light bar that runs in between the lights. That connects it, kind of gives it that Volkswagen, Audi, German luxury look. Big Ford badge, big prominent grille, by the way. I like the way Ford is styling this vehicle. Makes it a little more muscular like the Mustang. But also you know that this is a Ford Escape when you look at it, especially from a side angle. So this was a mid-cycle refresh, not a full redesign. The old one was a little bit more rounder. This one's a little bit more sharper, has new trim levels and new pricing, as well as a new interior, which we'll go into next. This one is the ST line, which is a newer, sporty one. Kind of goes back to the Fiesta ST, the Explorer ST, the Focus ST, pretty much everything ST that has to do with being more sporty, better handling, better looking, and that's exactly what this one does. As far as what it specifically does, different bumpers. They are body colored. So you'll notice body color right there. This will all be black plastic if you get one of the more basic, like the Active, for example. You do have a radar cruise control sensor right there in the middle. And I'll show you some different views of this vehicle because in different lighting, this color can look a little bit different. I really do like the way that it looks. I like the way that it reflects off of everything. It's a good looking vehicle overall. From a side view here, you can see that the body has a really familiar line if you remember the last generation Escape. And then, of course, coming at the 3/4 shot, you can see that we've got a little bit of the same taillights, but they're slightly more focused. Now, what I mean by that is they're just sharper. They look more aggressive, more like eyebrows, kind of, especially angry eyebrows. But as far as the ST line, all of this is body colored. So an Active, a lesser trim level will all be black plastic. Even down here in this piece right here will all be black plastic. So that's one of the reasons you get the ST line. The other reason is that these wheels, these are the 18-inch wheel. There is a 19-inch wheel, but they're basically the same style, a little bit different. I'll throw a picture on screen right up here of what that 19-inch wheel looks like. That way you know. But yeah, overall, really good exterior feel to this car. Looking at the back, you can see ultrasonic sensors. They did actually give us exhaust pipes, which I like. Now, this is the 2-liter turbo. If you go to the bottom line, there's 3 ST lines, actually. I want to say it's Select, maybe Edition, and then Elite at the top. I can't remember what the middle one is. Maybe the middle one's Select. I'll put them on screen. But anyway, the basic one gives you the 1.5 liter, which is the smaller, less powerful motor. Still has an 8-speed automatic, but you get that with the most basic ST line. Going up to the middle one and higher gets you the 2-liter turbo, which this one is. It's definitely the one to get a lot more power, 250 horsepower. And if you get it like this one is with the intelligent all-wheel drive, the handling is amazing. I would go as far to say that this might just be a budget X3. I think I'm going to make a spin-off video of that. If I made it, there will be a card up in the top corner letting you guys know where to find that video about this being a budget X3. But anyway, it really is. I mean, if you wanted a fun little sporty SUV that didn't cost you an arm and a leg and wanted it new with a warranty, this would definitely be the way to go because it's just a good, fun, sporty little excitable car. Talking about the tires on here, we do have Michelin premises. They're all seasons, wherever that's at. I think right down here, yep, A&S. And they are a 225/60 R18. Like I told you, these are the 18-inch wheels. Give you a shot real quick of that ST line logo. We do, of course, have body-colored mirrors with our 360 cam right there. Of course, passive entry on these door handles, which makes it that much easier to get in and out of the vehicle and live with it on a daily basis. Interestingly enough, they only put it on the front 2 doors. That might be because this isn't the Elite, but it's only on 2 doors instead of on all 4. Looking at our Ford Escape badging along the back, you can see it's a really nice having it spelled out along the back. There's no busyness going on with this rear end. It's just very, I don't want to say expectable, but it is at this point. It's exactly what you expect from this type of vehicle. By the way, huge thanks to Terrebonne Ford Lincoln, which is where I work, but they also provide these vehicles to us. It is the Barker family. We're in front of Barker, Mazda, Lincoln right now, so eventually we'll get into this product line and make some videos on these. Make sure to subscribe so that you don't miss that. Comment down below, let us know what you want to see next. And by the way, we're in Houma, Louisiana. We have Barker, Mazda, Mitsubishi, Kia, Honda, and GMC, which eventually we'll get into all those product lines. And then we have friends at other dealerships so that we can go into other product lines like Toyota. So definitely a lot of options on this channel as far as what brands you want to see. And then we also do separate car talks just about the new products that are coming out and the new technologies that are out there. So if you enjoy that, make sure that you're subscribed to the channel so that you don't miss any new content. These are our special ST line floor mats. You can see they're super, super bougie. Front license plate bracket, subwoofer kind of thing going on right over here, speaker grill. I don't know if that's an air inlet or just a ventilation, but it's on both sides. Moving over here, you can see we got a 12-volt plug. I guess that's technically storage. Grocery bag hook anyway, which is nice. Lifting up the floor, let's see if we can get this out in a decent way. Kind of seems like the whole floor comes out. Well, anyway, there's your spare tire. Looks like some sort of computer right there. Your funnel, looks like the jack to your spare tire is underneath the spare tire. I don't know if you guys can see that, but yeah. So definitely good to have a spare. A lot of vehicles are moving to a fix-a-flat, which when you run the numbers, a fix-a-flat can be a good alternative to a flat tire. For example, especially with older folks, they may not be able to actually change a tire physically. And so sometimes it's good to just have that fix-a-flat where you can go up to the valve stem, turn it on. Hopefully it patches the tire and gets you down the road to a tire shop where you can get the tire replaced at that point. I'm personally not a huge fan of that as an alternative to a full-size spare, especially since, you know, I'm capable of changing a spare tire, but not everybody is. And also these spare tires that they put in these vehicles, I don't know if you've ever ordered one, they're extraordinarily expensive because they're specialty made. And then you typically have to replace them about every 10 years because they dry rot and lose air and everything else. So there's some benefits one way or the other depending on whether you like fix-a-flat kits or spare tires. With that being said, we do have capless fuel fill. If you're not familiar, there is no cap. Don't worry, it's supposed to be that way. There are anti-theft measures installed in this. Don't worry, the engineers aren't that dumb. A lot of you commented when I did a video on this capless fuel fill before, talking about, oh, people can put stuff in your gas tank, or what about the water and all this other stuff. Don't worry, this is safe. They've engineered it that way. It's been this way now for 6, 7, 8, 10 product lines. So I think we're going to be okay. This vehicle, even though it's turbocharged, does run on regular 87. That's thanks to the direct injection underneath the hood, which we'll get into later when we get into the engine portion of this video. But you can run premium to get some more power out of this vehicle. Opening up the back doors. Oh, sorry, we're locked. See, this is why it's good to have passive entry on all 4 doors. And just so you know, we do have our blind spot monitoring, but we'll get into that when we get into the safety features on this vehicle. Opening up the rear doors, you can see that we have a decent amount of space. Not terrible. Good storage down at the bottom. I wish they would have put, see, they'd say this is a bottle holder. That's what they would tell you, but I don't have any water bottles, even the cheap like bulk 40 pack from Costco that fits in here. Like this, it doesn't work. Ford, you should have done this better. You knew it. Honestly, I think they carried over this whole door. That's what I think happened. Because the front ones have the new B&O logo. The back ones don't even worry about it. So I think personally, I think they didn't redesign this door. I think they could have, but it's okay. It's an Escape. It's not the most expensive, most premium vehicle. What is nice and expensive and kind of premium in this vehicle is the leather second row seats. Actually, they're leather all the way around, but they do have this cloth insert in the middle. I don't know if that's a cost cutting or a style. I'm not sure. When we talk about latch points, they seem to be fairly easy to get a hold of. I don't have my car seat with me today. It's in my wife's car, but I could probably get the car seat in here. The thing I do worry about, though, is the seat back position. The good news is it seems like Ford has given us, the option for a recline. So with the handle on the side of the seat, you can recline this seat a little bit more to make it a little bit more comfortable. With it at that angle, let's climb inside here, see what type of space we got. Knock the shoes off. So now that we're in here, this is where I would have sat. My shins hit a little down here, but there's enough room for my feet. Gosh, I'm going to have to vacuum when I get out of here. Anyway, knee room is decent. The arm spot is okay. There is this little plastic piece right here that pokes my elbow, but this is soft. I don't know. I feel like there could have been some thought put into that. Oh well. Looking at the other side, this armrest flips down. It's a here. Let's try it out. Let's see how decent of a spot this is to sit. Yeah, it's soft. It's good at the elbow where your elbow actually touches it. It's got cup holders in it. We have seat back pockets on one of the seats back here. So this right seat here has a seat back pocket. We do have air vents for the rear passengers. There's a slider to turn that air on or off depending on what you prefer more of. And it's also, I want to note, this is a little bit difficult to read of a dial, Ford. Like they get thicker, so I get you're thinking more air for a thicker, but I don't know, man. My mom would ask me to read that for her. That's all I'm saying. There is 2 USB-Cs down at the bottom, which is really nice to see that they're actually going to USB-C. Some brands are still hesitant and putting Type A ports, but let's be real. USB-C has definitely won the war of the port. Looking up at the roof, this does not have a panoramic roof, but it is an option. You can order it with one, and it does, of course, come with a power shade. Oh, I totally forgot to talk about towing on this vehicle. So when it comes to towing, you can tow up to 3,500 pounds when properly equipped. And properly equipped does mean the 2-liter turbo motor, all-wheel drive, and a special towing package, which I'll flash a little clip here of what that package looks like when you're on the configurator. But that's what you need to tow 3,500. I think otherwise it's about 2,000 pounds. I think on the 1.5 lowest trim active, I think it's 1,500 pounds. But either way, you can at least get 1,000 pounds around if you need to. Well, let's go ahead up to the front seat, and we'll turn all the screens on, and I'll poke through all the menus for you so you guys can see what that looks like. And we do have the door code on the side. If anybody's forgotten, Ford's been doing this for a super long time. Some people religiously love that. As a dealer, it's handy. You can lock vehicles when you're on the lot just by pushing the bottom 2 buttons, so that's handy. We do have some cool carbon fiber trim along the door here, which looks really decent. We've also got memory seats right up here. And then if you look right below that, we've got our power mirrors, power windows, soft touch at the elbow with the red stitching, like we saw in the rear. Storage is a little bit better up in this front door than it was in the back door, but it's pretty hard to get worse than that back door. Climbing inside, I'm going to start up the vehicle. So brake pedals are actually metal, which is pretty cool. Probably an option. Push the brake, push the start button. So this does have the easy entry power seat, so it just slid forward for me. And we do have some buttons right down here, which we'll go over in a little bit. But first thing I want to go over is the steering wheel. So looking at this wheel, it is a leather-wrapped, flat bottom, kind of sporty steering wheel, specific for the ST line. And on the steering wheel, we do have our buttons for our adaptive cruise and lane keep assist. This vehicle is equipped with both. I believe it comes standard in the 2023 on everything. I will put that on the screen right up here if it is or isn't standard on every trim level, but I'm pretty sure it is. It's Ford's safety suite, what they call Copilot. Seems to be a very good system, keeps the lane very well. But let's go into this center display first and go over all the screens that you can put. So this is the one that I personally like as a screen. It's the power distribution screen. It just allows you to see where the all-wheel drive is putting the power when you're driving. So if we go into drive here, you can see the front wheels and then a little bit of the back wheels. Pretty interesting how that works. And then scrolling through, you can go down. There's a comm screen. And by the way, Fords are interesting. So in case you don't know, there's the My View. This is going to be your main screen. And you can adjust what's on here. So when you hit Configure My View, you can turn on multiple trip meters. There's an eco behavior. And these are all things that you can turn on or turn off based on what you want in your My View. So when you do My View, like I said, we'll do comm screen. So that just leaves everything calm, gives us distance to empty and our MP miles per hour. Got our trip, got our status information. So this is going to tell you about those 3 things. When we go back under vehicle maintenance, this will tell us our oil life and our tire pressures. When we go under audio, that'll change the radio. When we go under nav, that'll show us our navigation, which, by the way, it pops up anyway if you're using CarPlay, which I like. You've got your phone button and settings, which is where you can do setup. There should be, let me see if I can, under vehicle maintenance is where our tire pressure is at, if you're somebody wondering where that is, because a lot of people ask me about that one. But that's the center screen when you talk about going through it. There are a couple other things that are pretty cool about it. For example, when we go into other drive modes. So to go into another drive mode, you push this far button to the right, which, by the way, this is all one button, which I don't really like. It pushes the whole panel, but somehow it knows where you're pushing. So when you push that button, you then go up to the screen, which is where our drive modes are at. And you can see here we've got our normal mode. We've got our eco mode, which I love the animations. They're very high quality. We've got our sport mode, which you can see there are red gears, pretty exciting. Our slippery mode, which is going to look like rain. But all of this, and by the way, if you're questioning any of this, you can hit the little info button and it tells you exactly what these modes are for, which is a really cool feature. There you go. Feel free to pause and read that if you care. But when we go back under our regular home, this is our home display. So this has the new cloud-based navigation, which does all of its processing remotely, which is a really handy feature. Allows this thing to be super quickie and snap as time goes on. But we've got heated seats right here in the corner, and this is a slider or a tapper, depending on what you would like it to do. So this is good for people who maybe aren't super familiar with the newest technology, because you can tap or slide, depending on what you're familiar with or what you like. See, they give you a plus or minus. They also give you a slider. Very well done, Ford. With our map, it's 3 years free for this navigation. Now, you don't actually have to have this nav. 90% of people are using CarPlay for navigation anyway, so you really don't need this built-in navigation, but Ford would love for you to have it. Going over to your phone, you can connect. It is wireless Apple CarPlay and wireless Android Auto on here, so you don't have to worry about hooking up anything out of the ordinary on here. There's no apps to download. There is, however, the Ford Pass app where you can download it. You can remote start. The Ford Pass app is probably one of my favorite features, just because it's completely free for as long as you have the vehicle. It's got a teen driver mode where you can see where the car's been, all sorts of stuff. As we go through the rest of the screen here, you can see we got our driver's assistance. All of our controls are in here. Cruise control, speed limit assist, lane keep assist, pre-collision, blind spot. It's all in here. You can toggle it on and off based on what you want, what mode you want for the adaptive cruise, and lane keep as well. Scrolling down, we've just got everything in here. Going through the rest of the display, you can see we've got a rear view camera display. We've got driver alert, all sorts of different features in here. You can go under your digital owner's manual. There is a paper quick start guide in the glove box. However, I really like that they give you the digital one. You can search up whatever you'd like. You can do videos, tutorials, paragraphs, articles, and it even gives you feedback. Go into your home display. This is underneath the vehicle tab. You've got the screen on the right here, which is going to be pretty much under all of your screens except for the home screen. If you go to map, you can see that it's right there on the right hand side. Just a little quick screen where you can go radio, Bluetooth, trip, fuel economy, pretty much whatever you want right there. And you can customize what's in that box. Underneath, we've got our home row right at the bottom. I love that it's fixed and on every screen. However, I do wish there were some buttons down below. I don't love everything being on the screen. They did simplify it down here, which I'm always a fan of simplification. It may have just been a step too much, because now we have pretty much no buttons, just the volume knob and the start button and a couple of random buttons down at the bottom. I do like this button, though. We got a wireless charger right here. Over to the right, you can see our USB ports and our 12-volt. Moving back from that, you can see our shifter for our 8-speed automatic. There is this really cool textured material. It's like a machined plastic look. I really like all the materials in here and the way that they mix. There's 4 or 5 different ones that just seem really premium. They do a good job between the carbon fiber on the dash, the leather on the steering wheel. And then, of course, this machined plastic just makes this not feel so much like an economy box car. Just makes it a little more upscale, a little, punching out of its weight class, just being a much better vehicle than you really come to expect from something that's $37,000. Right behind that, we've got our electronic parking brake, as well as our auto brake hold. It is a rotary shifter, and you can see there's a low range right in the middle. You can push that for towing, like we talked about a little bit earlier. But there is no paddle shifters, which really upsets me, because we were just in a Bronco Sport Badlands yesterday that had paddle shifters, and it wouldn't have been that big of a thing to put paddle shifters in this vehicle. So like we talked about, we got our rotary shifter, electronic parking brake, auto brake hold, little coin sorter behind that. And this auto brake hold stays on for as long as you keep it on. A lot of vehicles will make you push it every single time you jump in, like a Honda or Toyota. This one just stays on. Once you push it and it's on, it just, like I said, just stays on pretty much forever. Opening up the center console, you can see we got decent storage in there. There is a mat down at the bottom. Decent soft touch on the back of it when we close it. Good stitching. And while we're here, we got our window sticker. We'll go over that next. Excuse all the papers in the way. So this is our 2023 ST Line Select all-wheel drive. You can see two-wheel drive EcoBoost with an 8-speed, vapor blue metallic paint, and vinyl and cloth black seats. You can see our standard equipment in this top box right here. Feel free to pause at any moment. And then our optional equipment here, we do have a $3,700 package for the technology. However, they discount it $1,000 off the total for getting that tech pack, along with another $500 for getting the motor. So you can see our grand total MSRP is $37,735. It was built in Louisville, Kentucky, right here in the US of A, so that's awesome. And I'm sure if you were to make an offer of like $36,000, $35,000, they would probably accept it. 31 miles to the gallon highway, 23 city, and 5-star safety rating overall. All right, next let's pop the hood and talk about the engine on this rig. As we pop this hood, it is a double pull, so there's nothing to worry about outside when we actually get our hand underneath the hood. Just pull that twice, pops both the hinges, and opens right up for us. Opening the hood, it's a little heavy. It does have a prop rod. You can see, looking at the overall engine bay, this is the engine bay 2R 2-liter turbocharged EcoBoost motor. It's 250 horsepower, 280 pound-feet of torque, and it powers all 4 wheels through an 8-speed automatic. Looking at this engine bay overall, though, we can go over all of our maintenance items real quick. As we go to the left here, you can see our washer fluid and our coolant on one side of the motor. Alternators right there in the front, air intake right there. We do have our oil right in the middle of the engine. You can see our dipstick right there. The fill is right next to it. And our brake fluid and battery are over to the right. This does have an electronic power steering rack, so you don't have to worry about power steering fluid. It's a closed circuit unit. And talking about this 2-liter turbo, it's been in a lot of different vehicles for about 10 or 15 years. They've had it as early as I remember as 2013 in the Escape itself. Makes really good power with this 8-speed automatic, shifts really well, and it's just an all-around good powertrain. I mean, 250 horsepower with 280 pound-feet of torque is absolutely no slouch. This thing will get up and go in a hurry, in a rush. I'm actually about to, release that video of this being like a budget X3, but that's exactly what this thing is. It gets up, and for $37,000, if you're somebody who just needs something fun and reliable and that can get everybody around, this might be it for you. And looking at the headlights, they are nice and high, so you'll notice the plug-ins are easy to get to. I noticed that on the Bronco Sport yesterday. But also, weirdly enough, it kind of seems like there's an empty spot here in the engine bay that's just looking for something bigger. Ford, if you wanted to do a full Ford ST with the 3-liter V6, that would be awesome. We'd love to see it, make it rear-wheel drive based. I'm sure it would take a lot of work, but you can definitely do it. I believe in you guys. I think that this vehicle here just does an amazing job. With good fuel economy. It can tow, and it like I said, with this all-wheel drive system, it just gets up. I mean, you put it in sport mode, slam on the gas, and it is just rolling as fast as it possibly can. Well, guys, we're getting near the end of our video here. We're going to start wrapping up. I appreciate you guys watching. If you guys have any questions, leave them down in the comments down below. I'd be happy to answer them. Look forward to talking to you guys then. Thanks for watching this detailed, in-depth review. Make sure to subscribe to the channel, hit the notifications bell. I'll make sure to try to respond to all your comments. The last few videos I've had a ton of comments, so it's been difficult to get to you guys, but I do appreciate it. If you guys are interested in buying this vehicle, I actually do work at Terrebonne Ford.